Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 9th, 2019. I'm over in the shop. Last couple of days I've been doing some more insulation up in here. Finally got all the insulation up above all of between all the floor joists above the framed 2x6 lower wall. And I just have a couple more pieces of insulation to get around one of the doors, and then do over here, get some insulation around the windows as well. And then I can start putting up some more of the internal layer, the 1.5 inches of polyisocyanurate that goes up against this wall. A topic I want to bring up today is what I consider an option that sometimes we don't think about when we run into an obstacle. So certainly, you know, if you've got important data, you know the importance of saving the data frequently, having an extra backup to an alternate location, so that, you know, if you've got valuable photos, digital photos on one disk drive, you want to have it on a backup hard drive. Same thing with other data as well. We all learn that. We all learn if you're doing carpentry work, measure twice, cut once. That's an important guideline to remember as well. Well, there's another, I don't know, similar mechanism to that, or a hack, if you will, that we don't employ enough in life, and I call it the undo option. Certainly, if you work with various software programs, it's always nice not only to have things saved, but to be able to click up under the edit menu and go back and click undo the last couple of things that you just did, because it messed up. You had unforeseen results. It wasn't the desirable result, so you can click that undo. And I do the same thing when I'm working, doing anything in life, basically. But an example would be yesterday when I was out here working, and you see this cable behind me here. Now that's a 100 amp service cable there that goes to the 200 amp box over, sub panel over in the greenhouse work area and the chicken coop. And that more than meets all of our needs at this point, but we have it so that I can drop another 220 line in here as needed. And there's a junction box just down here at the base of this. But when we installed this wire initially, it was a long time before I would be getting to this point and doing this project. So it went up, it was nailed, it was secured with staples to that stud there, that 2x6. Then went up and wrapped around that floor joist there, wrapped around, worked its way over and down through the top of the top plate on the wall partition, and then into the main breaker box, which was all perfect. I mean, it was just fine. And as you've seen from the other videos, what we're going to do is build this wall out, and there's channels, both a horizontal channel and a vertical wall, designed into this wall system that I'm building. The super insulated walls are going to still have good access channels for wiring and all. So being able to put a 200 amp cable down through the wall later on is relatively easily done. And I knew all this, but I came over here yesterday morning and I started insulating on either side of that cable that went up outside of the building, in a sense, wrapped around the base of one of those floor joists up there, then came back in the next spot over next to this wall here, so that it could run over to the service panel. And so I started insulating around it and all, and I thought about it. I just thought to myself, geez, if I ever have to change this wire, I've got this whole wall that isn't there yet that I'm going to have to tear down in order to get and change that wire, or leave that wire there and run a new wire inside of it. But there's a thermal break, an air break as well. Every penetration that goes through your vapor barrier, your air barrier, and your thermal barrier, and your water barrier, any violation of that allows for potential insult. Air to get through, which is going to bring humidity through. You get condensation on a cold surface, you get mold. Those problems could get some decomposition of wood as a result of that. Certainly your heating bills are going to be more as a result of it, and that's one of the main reasons of doing the super insulation job, so that I never have to worry about the costs of heating this building. It's going to be minimal. So I had gotten it insulated around it, just about all the way insulated, and finally I just stopped and I said, it's time to hit the undo. And that's what I did do. What I did was I stopped doing that temporarily, came over to the breaker box, tore out some of the insulation above the area where the panel is, got the wire, shut down the main breaker, took out the breakers that go to this sub panel over here, and pulled the wires out of the box, pulled all the staples down, the securing straps down, unfished it from behind that floor joist up there, tore out all the insulation I had put in, and it's put in there so tight it's destroyed when you try taking that insulation back out. And then I went ahead, ran the wire temporarily over here, because possibly next week we'll be putting in the new service. As soon as I have this wall here, it'll be easy to run that wire inside of the wall. So, you know, it was one of those times where I needed to opt to do the undo button, the undo button in life, and that basically, I think, is words to consider and put in your cabinet of tools. Even though it may be frustrating, it could be an embarrassing situation. It could be that you realize, geez, you know, I wish I had done this differently. And many times there is the opportunity of undoing it and then redoing it the correct way. It may be more costly, certainly take more time, those things. But if you want the quality that you want, remember, whenever we're looking at investing in something, there's three elements that we need to balance. It's the quality, it's the time commitment, and the amount that it's going to cost you. And you can have any two of those. So I'm using used materials, reclaimed materials here, doing this work. It's taken me a boatload of time, and I'm not hiring other people to do it. So it's really saving a lot of costs, but I'm going to have a very high quality. It's going to take me much more time, but it's going to be relatively inexpensive. If I were to buy the new materials and have a crew come in here and do the things that I'm doing, I could go back to work and work for a few more years to pay for that. So that's life. And whenever we're looking at an investment, remember, there's time involved in the equation, there's a cost involved in the equation, and there's certainly the quality. Sometimes it's good to settle for lower quality to get things done quickly at a reasonable price. But those are the three things we've got to deal with. So those are my words of wisdom for the day. There will be a little bit of GoPro footage, I think, showing up here. It's been brutally cold here, despite the sun being out yesterday, but it's getting up to freezing temperature, getting up to, they're saying 33, 34, 35 degrees Fahrenheit today, which I'm excited about. I've got all the doors open to hopefully bring some of that warm air into this cold shop. So if you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. Really appreciate it. Take care, folks. Bye-bye now.